Okay, I've moved to my garage now, and I'm going to start the build on the Canyon Endurace. I want to build it as much with Canyon's tools as I can, just out of the box, what it comes with, so we can see how it goes. I think from a video I've watched previously, it takes about 10 minutes to build, and I would say that's about the same. Now, I did read the manual that came with it, and it says, "Welcome to the family." Unfortunately, it doesn't have a lot of information about this bike specifically, like the integrated bars and the disc brakes, so I had to look into some other places to find information about that. What I have done is I've pulled out the reflectors, just because there's no point in anybody watching me do that. Real important, when we're going to be putting on the handlebars, which I'm resting on the steer tube right now, there's a little shim that goes in the back. If you look at the handlebars, the steer tube is actually still round, even though it's kind of arrow. And I'll try to get a good view in the camera there. Sorry about the lighting, I'm in the garage. But you can see it's kind of round with the back end that this shim piece goes into. And to put it in, you just slide it in from the bottom, and it kind of snaps into place. And then, please don't tip over, please don't tip over. I'll mess around with my stack height a little bit, but, and the shim fell out. There's also, you want to put on some of this assembly paste anywhere you're going to have carbon meeting carbon. So the assembly paste comes in the package. I've already opened it just to speed things up a bit. I'm going to rub it on the steer tube. Steer tube, I'll eventually cut it down. I'll get the stack height right. I'm not sure anyone that's ridden a new bike, you just have to make it fit you. So those line up nicely. And then I'm going to pick my shim back up, put it in. Put my two spacers on top. And there's a little top cap. The top cap is 3 millimeters, so that it's an Allen head or a hex head, and the little torque wrench that comes with this, you just slide it right in, and you can lightly tighten that up just so it doesn't fall off. Get everything lined up. I'm going to give this a sort of line up. Switch to my, I believe the next one is a 4. The nice thing, yes, it's a 4. The nice thing about these little hex heads is they all say what the torque settings need to be. So it says 5 Newton meters. I'm not going to take it all the way up because I want to wait till my wheel's on, but I am going to tighten it a little bit so it stays in place. And the nice, also, this hex is pushing into that shim. It's not pushing into the steer tube, so there's more surface area grabbing onto the steer tube, which is a nice touch. Next, let's go ahead and throw on the seat post. Same thing, a little bit of the carbon paste. I took the reflector off here. Again, a nice little touch that Canyon has here is the seat post bolt is back here. There's no seat post clamp that sits on. I'm going to take it just to neutral, to the 0. I'll measure that out in a little bit. I already popped, but there's a little tab that goes in. And then you have this other Allen head key that also measures, I'll bring this a little closer. Don't know if that'll work, but it measures the offset, will give you how much torque you're applying, so 5 Newton meters there, which is what the stem uses, and I believe this is a 4 millimeter Allen key. So we're going to tighten this. Okay. Just, slippery. Put the little cap back in. Beautiful. Wipe the assembly paste off my hands, then getting all over my nice new bike. Okay, now we're going to move on to the wheel. You can see this comes with a big spacer on it. We can just pop that off. And then on the other side, there's another little tab spacer. That doesn't want to come off too easily. I'm going to just grab some needle nose to grab that. Oh, I took the whole bearing race off with it. Oh, that's really in there. Okay, that's all. I'm going to seat that back in there. There's a nice little rubber seal. There we go. Back in. Okay, now this is through axle. I believe it's a 6mm hex head. So I'm going to use the 6mm here. This will get a little tricky doing it with one hand, but we're going to drop that in and thread this out. Also, the brake shim is in place. So we're going to pull the brake shim out. Bring the wheel in, line the disc brake up. If you haven't done these through axles, there's nice little pockets that they sit into, so your wheel can actually rest where it needs to be, and then you can bring your axle back through, get it about lined up, start twisting, back to your tool. Go. And there we have it. That was all the assembly that's required. Of course, I'm going to have to, adjust the derailleurs probably, to do a little bit of the shim work on those to make sure everything's working perfectly when I get the batteries in. But as we are right now, I think this bike's about ready to ride. I'll pull off some more stickers. Also, I'm going to bring it out in the sunshine to give a good look at what this color looks like. So let's go out and do that next. Here we are out in the sunshine. As you can see, it's more of a gray than a titanium color. Like I said, I was expecting it to be very silvery, but it doesn't come off silvery even out in the sunlight. It does catch some reflections. Inside it was looking almost green. Outside it definitely looks more gray like it is. I don't want to use the term, but I will. It really has a space gray look to it, and ironically, it even smudges and gets fingerprints on it, just like the back of the phone in space gray. And here's the up close, and you can see the nice black stripe which contours down into the gray. And as you can see, the handlebars here. There. If you have any oils on your finger and you touch all of the carbon paint, the oils will show up. I leaned my forehead on the bike to hold it up, and I had a forehead mark on my top too. So I won't be doing that again. There it is, all built. I've lost the sun, but it looks a little green in this light, but I can assure you it's not green. It's a gorgeous looking bike. My comments so far, I would say that if you're thinking, I'm just into a medium, and I could ride a small frame in this bike, I'm sure. The small frame, however, became a smaller handlebars, shorter stem, which I wouldn't have wanted. But this bike, the medium, it's very tall. I'm 5'9", and I have just about 1 inch on my inseam to the bike. So it's a little taller on the top tube than my previous 54s I've ridden, probably closer to a 55 or a 56.